Hey guys, it's Chloe, and today I am here with the best books of 2014. So I was originally going to do a top 14 of 2014, but then I couldn't come up with 14 books that I loved so much. So instead I am doing just a best books of 2014. I kind of just went through my shelves and looked at all the different books that I'd read this year and decided on which ones that I wanted to go in this video. So without further ado, here are my best books of 2014 in no particular order. The first book that I really enjoyed this year, Where She Went by Gail Forman. Now I read this book about around the time that the If I Stay movie came out, and I ended up loving this book a lot more than the first book in the duology. I don't know what it is about this book, maybe the fact that it's like 5 or maybe 2 years later, some odd number of years later. I just love this book a lot more, and that's basically why it's in the best books of 2014, because I loved it a lot more than the first one, and I really want to read it again. The next book on this list is a 2014 debut novel, and it was one of the best books I have read all year. It is The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. I had been waiting to get my hands on this book since the day it came out, and I finally got it for my birthday in September, like 3 months after it came out. And I flew through it, and I absolutely cannot wait for the final book in this duology, The Death Code, which comes out in April of 2015. I cannot wait. This book was so good. I didn't do a review on this book, but I did do a review on the prequel book, The Fear Trials. I'll link that down below. It was just so good, and it's so fast-paced, and there's action, and it's so good. The next book on this list is a book from a series that is like one of my absolute favorite series. It's probably like up there, right after Harry Potter, and it is Cress by Marissa Meyer. Now, this is also a 2014 release. It came out in February, I believe, and oh my god, I love this book so much. Maybe it's the fact that it's a fairy tale retelling series, I don't know, but just this series is so amazing and captivating, and this book, the monster that it is, was amazing. I loved every single bit of it. I love that we met Cress. I love that all these characters intertwine together. I can't wait for Ferris. I absolutely can't wait for the conclusion to this series, Winter, which I really want to know how this series ends. I have a theory, but I really need to know how it ends. This book, oh my gosh, this book was my absolute favorite. It was so good. So good. So good. The next book on this list is The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chris Colfer is a good contemporary writer. He is an amazing fantasy writer. This book was just it was another one of those really good fairy tale retellings. Not so much of a retelling as it was like a continuation of fairy tales. I really want to read the second and third book. I think there's a fourth book in this series that might be coming out. Not completely sure on that, but I really need to get my hands on the second and third one. It was such a good book, and I read it during the Booktubeathon back in July, and it was just such a good book. I don't know why I didn't pick it up sooner. The next book is another 2014 release, and it was probably one of my most anticipated for 2014, and it is Dangerous Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Now, last year in 2013, I had just wrapped up reading the Castor Chronicles, the original series, which was so good. And when I found out there was going to be a spin-off series, holy crap, I needed the book right away. For the character that this follows, Ridley, it was a really good story. I did miss seeing some of our main characters, like Lena and Ethan. I missed seeing them, but I really do like the story that Ridley and Link follow in this book. It's so good. That cliffhanger at the end, I need the second book right away. There's a cover for the second book now. really excited. This book was just amazing. I need to reread it. That's what I need to do. But it was just a great book, a great story for Ridley especially. If you guys have read the Castor Chronicles and you know the character of Ridley and you've read this book or you haven't read this book, this story for Ridley is really fitting, for her especially with her personality type, and that really helped the story come together. And the last best book of 2014 is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Honestly, this should be no surprise to you guys. It's no surprise to me. The Rainbow Rowell book I've read, I have loved. I have not come across a Rainbow Rowell book that I haven't loved. Now, especially for an adult book, I still love her writing style. Normally, I don't read adult books. Like, me reading an adult book is like far and few between. Once in a blue moon, maybe. Maybe like twice or 3 times a year. But this did not feel like an adult book. The characters were adults, yes, but it did not feel like an adult book. And it made it so much better for me, especially because I knew I wanted to read this. I knew I wanted this book, but I wasn't sure how to go into it with it being an adult book. That being said, I freaking love this book. It was so good. I actually read this recently, back in October, but it was such a good book, and I loved it, and it definitely deserves a spot in the best books of 2014. So that is it for today's video. Those are my best books of 2014. If I had to pick my favorite, oh god, why am I doing this to myself? Between Cress and the Murder Complex. I loved the Murder Complex, but I love the Lunar Chronicles. Lunar Chronicles are fairy tale retellings, though. I don't know. Probably Cress. Cress is probably the top book this year. So guys, that's it for today's video. As always, if you like the video, go and press the like button. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Exciting things coming in 2015. So many exciting things. I can't wait to talk about them. I will have a video up soon, something really exciting that I have talked about on Twitter before and I've talked about on Instagram. So if you haven't already figured that out, you gotta go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links down below. Exciting stuff coming, guys. Exciting stuff. My name is Chloe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!